Alright, welcome ladies and gentlemen once again to Virtual Racing Network. Tonight we are in the season finale here at Pocono for the Roaring Thunder Racing League. Here racing some Corvettes for 70 laps. It's going to be a good race. We expect to see some great racing. But before we get into all of that, of course, we want to go and thank all of the partners that have come on board for this broadcast. Of course, starting with Walls Beard Co. Gentlemen, if you have a beard, you need to take care of it. So make sure you head on over to wallsbeardco.com. Pick up some of that beard balm, all natural and organic products. So again, make sure you check it out. You will not only feel good, you will smell good. They got lots of different scents to pick from over there. So head on over to wallsbeardco.com. simspeedshop.com. Guys, if you're an iRacer, you need to head on over there, pick up one of those custom-made button boxes, and of course, their e-brakes for you rallycross racers. It is your one-stop shop for all your iRacing needs. Northwest Racing Series just finished up their season, so we can't tell you to go watch them live, but you can also go over and watch all the past races here on VRN as they just crowned their two champions, Mark Walls for the trucks and Jeff Stabnow for the Xfinity. You can go recap the entire season here on VRN and go watch all of those highlights and videos. Make sure to do that. They are also the official one-to-go sponsor here for VRN. So later today, when you see the white flag waving, it will be presented by Northwest Racing Series. Ohio IndyCar League. Again, if you like to get into some racing, but Xfinity and trucks maybe not your thing, head on over to Ohio IndyCar League. You can get all the latest information at facebook.com/Ohio IndyCar League. They are no longer just taking Ohio members. And of course, iBog, iRacing Broadcast Overlay Graphics. The owner of that one, Jason Allison, will be racing here this afternoon, so make sure you go over there and check his site out at ibog.co. He is your sim race broadcast graphics source. And we don't have the overlay in here, and typically we will have it in there. We're transitioning everything in. We do have Randy's Raps, so Randy Post over there. He is doing some raps, so make sure you go over there and check them out. They are the official pre-race interview, which we'll be getting to here very shortly in just about a minute or two. So thanks everyone for tuning in here tonight. And we do want to introduce our second chair here for tonight's race. Was going to be Randy, but looks like he got tied up. So that being said, it is going to be David Applegate. So David, first off, how are you doing, and welcome to the booth for the first time.
Hey, Charles, good to be here. Pocono is one of my favorite tracks, so I can't wait to see a great race going on here today.
It definitely is going to be a great race here against 70 laps, so it's going to be a pretty long race in the grand scheme of things, but this is their season finale, so, you know, they always put on a good show. It kind of stinks that it's coming to an end. But we'll definitely be watching to see when their new season does start and be tuning in for that. We'll see if we're here broadcasting it or not. That'll all be determined later on. But again, just a great season so far. And speaking of a great season here, while we have a few minutes, we'll see if we can't pull Jeff here real fast. Jeff, you got a copy?
Yes.
Well, we're here. We got the quick pre-race interview, of course, presented by Randy's Raps. Again, sorry we don't have that logo. We are transitioning that in. But that being said, we always like to get in a little pre-race interview in here. And we're going to talk to you because this is the season finale for this season. So, you believe you told us earlier it is Charles Smith and Jeremy Horn. Is that correct? As those two are racing for the championship?
Yes, that is correct. Their points were reset to well, they weren't reset to nothing, but they were reset to even, like we do each time that we have stages in the chase. But the only thing is that the previous stages we had in the chase, the drivers each got extra points added on to those, for wins, and I think it was there was another one there, and I forgot what it was now. But anywho, that won't play an effect tonight. Their points will just be even, and whoever wins the race or finishes ahead of one of them, that'll be the champion.
Whoever finishes highest will be the champion here. And it's going to make it interesting because, well, Jim Whaley Jr. is the fastest. Jeremy Horn and Charles Smith sitting second and third right now in practice. So this could get very interesting between those two to determine who wins the championship here this afternoon, or tonight. Technically, it's still sunny, so I think it's afternoon. But overall, it has been a fantastic season. We're definitely glad to be here. So any just shout outs or anything like that you want to announce for the upcoming season, or what you have planned for RTRL?
Yeah, just want to thank all the guys, that come out each and every week to race with us. It's a blast, and, and thank you guys for broadcasting this season. And anybody watching the broadcast, if you want to get in on the action, just look up Roaring Thunder Racing League on the iRacing League directory. And we're currently underway in our Tuesday season, and that is super late models. And then next season for Saturdays, after tonight, we'll have 2 straight off weeks going before the new season starts. And when the new season starts, it'll be Lotus 49s on all ovals.
Well, it should be a great race for anybody looking to get in there. It looks like we had another driver connect. Looks like Simon Thorns just connected. So overall, we're looking forward to seeing a great race here. We got about 3.5 minutes left, so we're going to get you back up to the race channel. And with any luck, we'll see you in the top 3 or possibly in victory lane today.
Hopefully so. I have a good broadcast, Charles.
You too. All right. Well, it was a quick little interview, again, presented by Randy's Wraps. We have about 3 minutes left here. Again, we want to talk a little bit about the race. It is 70 laps, I believe 175 miles. And this track is a very tricky track.
They call it the Tricky Triangle. Truth in advertising.
That is true. It is called the Tricky Triangle. Very tough to navigate. There's so many different walls that can get you here. And we'll see. I know in practice we saw some people coming out of Turn 2. The one thing about this track with these cars, it may be a little less tricky on these guys just because these cars handle really well. But we have seen some pretty violent wrecks in the past year. We've seen people hung in the fence. So it'll be interesting to see how many cautions we have, if we have any with these cars.
Yeah, this is feeling like you can almost go pedal to the metal for almost the entire lap around here. I took some laps in this car and track combination earlier, and it almost feels like it's running stock cars at Michigan or Auto Club, one that you can just hammer down all the whole time. One of the side effects of that, I call it a side effect, I call it a perk. One of the perks of that is you're going to have 2 to 3 wide racing a long way through this. People going 4 wide down the front straightaway, 3 wide into turn 1. I'm really looking forward to this.
Yeah, definitely a good race here as you kind of debuting here in the booth. So it's a great race to debut with for sure. I know a lot of people mixed feelings. They either hate this track or they love it. But this is one of those that is just fun to watch. But we have 1:15 left on the clock, so we are going to step away for the national anthem. So we will be right back with qualifying right after your national anthem.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Qualifying is officially underway here, so we are going to go ahead and drop down to your drivers here as we have the number 28 of Jason Allison out on the track right now along with everybody else. This is open qualifying, so it's not lone qualifying like I know I'm used to seeing and David, you're used to doing here, so everyone's out on the track together.
Yeah, this is the qualifying method I really do prefer. I like the gamesmanship that comes out of that because you can think about drafting, you can think about putting somebody that's faster ahead of you, slower behind you, or even somebody that's faster behind you, try and bump them down from a better qualifying position. But you race on the track with everybody, why not qualify on the track with everybody?
That is a very valid point. Get out there and you can decide who you kind of work with. If somebody's getting into the wall, and that is Jason Allison getting into the wall. Very hard lick for Jason Allison. So we'll switch over to Charles Smith, who is one of your championship drivers here, as well as Jeremy Horn. So we'll see where these two guys stack up as times are coming in. Nobody's officially put in a best lap just yet. So very interesting on that side that no one has put in a time, as the one that was closest to doing it was Jason Allison before he wrecked.
Jeremy Horn across the line with a 53.317, but it looks like he just got bumped by James Capehart.
It did indeed, so we'll start pulling up your times here. Again, James Capehart with a 53.010. And we may see these guys get into the 52s here if they do draft a little bit with each other. That's something we'll have to look for during the race. But I'm just not sure how much drafting they're actually going to be able to do. But we will keep a close eye on that. But right now, Jeremy Horn second. Charles Smith is in third. So these guys are literally bumper to bumper when it comes to time. Only .048 separating your two championship drivers here in qualifying.
And it looks like Jeremy Horn just bailed out of his second qualifying lap. He may have hit the wall. I did not see it happen, but he was going through turn 2, and now he's bailed out of his second lap. So that's going to be his qualifying time for this race.
Yeah, and again, they do have a few more minutes left to go. So they can come back out. I believe they have as many laps as it take. I'm not sure.
There you go. Northwest Racing Series qualifications has rubbed off on me.
Yeah, they do have 10 minutes, I believe, on the clock. So he will be able to come back out. But
yep.
yeah, it's a lot of people don't know how laps and time work here when it's open qual, but. He's still, either way, it's going to hurt him a little bit because he has to go back in, get a new car. He is back on the track now, but these guys can lay some rubber down and get some heat into this track and make it a little bit more slippery when he gets that heat. That rubber will give a little grip as well. But nobody's really moving in your top 8 right now. They're kind of staying where they are, as Mark Koshik is in 8th right now with a 55.389.
14 drivers are going to take the green flag, theoretically, here. I see 14 drivers on the entry list, and it looks like a 9th driver has just jumped onto the leaderboard, so everything's spread between 53.01 to a slow time so far, 55.388. James Capehart's current pole-sitting lap had some draft help in turn 3, so I think if anybody's going to be able to get into the 52s, they're going to have to use the draft and probably be able to use it for a longer distance around the track than just for one corner and one straightaway.
Yeah, and we saw it in practice before we went live. As we talked about a little bit in the pre-race show, they will go 2 and 3 wide. These guys, obviously they're spread out right now, but that's just because they're coming out at different times. Once they all roll off together, I do expect to see these guys running side by side, and it should be some really good racing. And as again, only 9 drivers have put in times, but out on the track that haven't put in times, Stephen Leffler, John Estes, Jim Whaley Jr., and Jeff Dotson. Michael Palmer has not come out onto the track yet, so it looks like 4 more drivers are going to be putting in times very soon.
And Stephen Leffler, who was the holder of the fastest time in practice at 53.003, has put in a time now at 53.851, good for 7th on the grid. Currently, James Capehart's pole-sitting lap is only 7 thousandths of a second slower than Leffler's best practice lap. So if Leffler can find that magic he had in practice again, he can beat Capehart for the pole.
He could indeed. As we're going to look, John Estes just ran 8th fastest time with a 54.042. So these guys in the back here, while they're great drivers, they've got to pick it up just a little bit here. Running 54s and 55s are not going to be keeping up with those 53s. Up front is looks like about, I would say, your top 7 in the 53s. Maybe you might see John Estes get a 53. He's right there with that 54.0. But beyond them, they start getting really spread out. As Jeremy Horn, one of our championship drivers, takes it to the top with a 52.808.
And there we go, 52. Uh-oh, we got a car spinning out of turn 3. It looked like it was going to be Jason Allison's time for a really good time coming out of that corner there. He managed to get a nice long draft down the straightaway, but he's going to spin out, and that lap is not going to improve on his 4th place position right now. But yes, we finally do have a lap in the 52s with Jeremy Horn's 52.8. That's quite a gap now to 2nd.
And it may not be too long before James Capehart gets there with the 53.010. That is 0.202 off. I think he may be into the 52s before it's all said and done. Charles Smith out there trying to do what he can to get up there, but I believe he's going to pull it to pit road as he's going to lock him up. One thing about these cars, obviously, you run over Northwest. They don't have them in the Cup cars, in the Xfinity cars and trucks. They have a pit limiter or rev limiter here, to where when they get down to pit road, they can actually put on click a button, and it actually holds them at pit road speed. So they can't really speed on pit road unless they forget to turn that on. So it's kind of a little cheat mechanism there, but if you call it that, but it does keep them from speeding on pit road, and you'll notice it if those lights are blinking on the front of their car and the back of their car.
Yep, I've only been able to use a pit limiter before in my IndyCar races. You don't have those in stock cars. I cannot in my memory remember ever speeding on pit road in the Northwest Series, but that is a problem. And in a real life race, that's a safety issue with all those guys on pit road. So make it as realistic as possible. Put the pit road speed limiters in the cars that have them. We are now at 2 minutes remaining in practice, and basically anybody that's not currently rolling on the track is not going to be able to put in another lap before the checkered flag falls. It's going to be really close now. We're coming to the crunch time.
It is indeed, as it's going to take them at least about a minute 8 as their warm-up lap, as that's what Jim Whaley Jr. did. Michael Palmer is pulling onto the track right now, so he's got a minute 32. He may be able to squeeze a lap in here if he can get out there and doesn't have any major issues to speak of, as he's going to come onto the track. And I'm not sure, I don't believe this track actually has a cone on the end of pit road.
I don't know. I don't have an answer for you on that one. It's kind of a really, really tricky entrance anyway, because you come right out of that long straightaway and then turn 1's just there. So I don't know.
If I'm recalling correctly, I do not believe it has to have one because it is a triangle instead of an oval. Again, just a very weird track. So I do not believe it has one. So we don't have to worry about that. That is one plus for these guys. They don't have to worry about that blue cone or the blue line or exiting the pit, anything wrong like that. There, right as he crosses the line, he is on his first lap for Michael Palmer. 30 seconds ago, he is not going to make it. He's only in turn 2, so you were correct on that. He is not going to be able to complete a lap here.
It's actually going to be closer than that, because if I remember how this works correctly, you will actually have about 7-8 seconds of the checkered flag being displayed before it actually kicks you from the session. So he may oh man, it's going to be really close. It's going to be within a couple of seconds, but I don't think he's going to make it.
Yeah, we'll just have to keep an eye as we're watching him here. Will he be able to get to the line is the question. We're going to take a zoomed out look here to see as he's coming around the corner. I believe that is turn 3. It is indeed. Checkered flag is waving, and he does have an additional time there, so will his time count as he crosses the line? And it will. 53.929 to put himself in ninth, so getting a top 10 finish. And it actually did add an extra minute to the clock here for these guys to finish up their laps.
That's handy.
Yeah, that is very handy. So that will do it. He will go to ninth place, and that's going to do it here. As we'll see, Simon Thorne's out on the track, but he's pulling it to pit road. And Jeremy Horn on the backstretch right now. He's already got the pole wrapped up. I don't believe anybody can potentially get by him. We'll see. Michael Palmer still out on the track here with 31 seconds. But he needed that extended time before, so I don't think he's going to be able to complete this one. So we'll go ahead and get rid of your qualifying times here as Jeremy Horn is going to be walking away with the pole here with a 52.808, and that is it. Michael Palmer is going to pull it down at pit road, so that will do it for qualifying. Next up will be your Walls Beard Co. starting grid coming up in just a few moments. Alright, gridding has begun here. So we're going to get down to the track with these guys as Jeremy Horn's already getting on grid, and we just love the way these cars grid here. And we don't have too many cars, so I'll go ahead and run through the grid for us here before they start rolling off. In row 1 with a 52.808 is the number 14 of Jeremy Horn, one of our drivers here for the championship, racing for that championship. On his outside is going to be the number 49 of James Capehart with a 53.010. Row 2 is going to be the 28 of Jason Allison and the 12 of Charles Smith. Row 3 is going to be the 48 of Mark McFadden and the 57 of Simon Thorns. Row 4 is going to be the 72 of Stephen Leffler and the 3 of Jeff Dodson. Row 5 is going to be the 31 of Michael Palmer and the 80 of John Estes. Row 6 is going to be the 37 of Ronald Vincent and the 51 of Paul Cohen. Row 7 is going to be the 33 of Mark Koshik, excuse me, and the 46 of Jim Whaley Jr. And that will do it here for your Walls Beard Co. starting grid as these guys are getting lined up. And again, before they roll off, we just talked about it, how cool this is. They line up sideways here on pit road. It just is a really cool way to start the grid.
It is indeed. I don't know if they do that any other oval tracks, but I remember gridding up here for a truck race with the Northwest Racing Series about a month ago, and I was not expecting it. I wasn't expecting to see the inside wall as I'm sitting in the car waiting to go.
Yeah, it is a exclusive thing they do here at Pocono. It's just so cool to watch as you'll see these guys take off here in just a minute as everybody is on the grid. So they'll get it lined up. You know, this is typically how you see the NASCAR sitting before the race starts and before they get ready to go out when the fans can come out there and stuff like that. But this is how they start, so it's really cool. And actually there is the blue cone. We just saw it. It is right there as you come out.
You're right.
So we stand corrected. There is a blue cone here. I didn't see one. But it's just right there before you go into turn 1 because of the way this track is.
That means that you have a possibility of having slower drivers exiting the racetrack on the racing surface in turn 1. Once you get past that turn cone, that blue cone, you're allowed to get up there onto the racetrack.
And
so you got to watch out in your rear view.
You are definitely going to have to watch out to make sure you don't run over them and they don't come into you. So it's going to be something to watch for. I think we're going to go pretty much caution-free here this afternoon. Again, kind of late. Actually, it's 8 p.m. Central Time, but the sun is still shining, so it does not feel like it's nighttime here at all. So it's a little tricky here. But regardless, 70 laps are on the books, 175 miles, 2.5-mile track. This is a huge track, made even bigger by the fact that it does resemble a triangle versus an oval. But these guys are going to do a great job here as they're getting ready to get this thing going. And it looks like Jeremy Horn is set to start the races. The lights are off on the pace car. And it looks like, since you are new here, we'll let you get them started here, David.
All right, the pace car is pulling off, and Jeremy Horn receives the green flag heading down the front straightaway. Gas to the max, and he's going to get... Is he clear of James Capehart? He's close. He's going to get the lead in there, and he's being... Wow, I'm in the wrong camera view for this. Into turn 1, he is clear for the lead.
He is indeed. James Capehart sitting in second place. Charles Smith in second. And one thing you'll see here tonight, I doubt anybody will really use it. Their headlights are on, even though it's a daytime race. You can flash those headlights to someone. If someone's a lot slower than you, you can flash the headlights. That's the indicator of, hey, I'm faster than you, let me by. That's typically used when they do road racing for different classes. While these are all, I believe, GT3s or GT1s, I'm not sure. GT1 class. So, yeah, that's typically used, if there's a lower class in front of you and you're faster than them. You may see Jason Allison use it here tonight, who is currently running in fourth place. He likes to use it to let people know. I think he just uses it sometimes just to have fun with it. But they will use those as they're already starting to go too wide here in the front, and somebody's getting into the wall. That's Jeremy Horn, scrapes the outside wall.
That might have been Jeremy Horn. Is he out in the front still?
Sorry, that was Capehart. That was not Jeremy Horn. My apologies. I'm not sure who that was.
That was James Capehart. He got to the outside of Horn going into turn 1 and drifted, met the outer wall in turn 2. Exit turn 1.
Oh, my apologies. That was James Capehart. That's the other problem. Yeah, these cars, their numbers are so small, it is very hard to see, but there it is. That was the 49 of James Capehart as he does scrape the wall. Jeremy Horn still out front, followed by Charles Smith, your 2 championship drivers running 1 and 2. We were giving them, teasing them a little bit, saying it would be hilarious if they tied for first, but you never know at the rate they're going. It's a possibility, but Jason Allison may have something to say about that all over the back bumper of Charles Smith for second place.
And James Capehart fell back to 5th or 6th place after scraping the wall. It really doesn't look like his car has been damaged at all. He's already made a pass. He's up to the 4th position, just a little bit behind the battle for second place between Smith and Allison. Ahead of them, though, Jeremy Horn's walked away by quite a few car lengths. He's got this race in hand right now. We're only 2 laps in.
He does need 0.783 seconds ahead of first place, now 0.883, so he is moving ahead very quickly. And we'll see, can Jason Allison take second, or can maybe James Capehart get back to the front? He started second. He's in 4th. So like I said, he has fallen back a little bit due to a slight scrape of the wall. But we're going to go back here a little bit towards the back as this second group is starting to mix it up, going too wide. Take a look. That is Mark McFadden, John Estes, Ronald Vincent, Michael Palmer, Paul Cohen, Jim Whaley Jr. is... we have somebody spinning. Let's take a look. And it looks like the 37 of Ronald Vincent going around, and I think he had some help there. Let's go back and take a quick look here and see what happened.
Oh, yep, I see it. I don't know where your screen is or where the viewers can see right now, but I see John Estes getting loose coming out of the corner. Ronald Vincent is a bystander.
Yeah, well, definitely. We're going back here. We're going a little ways back. We're going to go see what happened here. Is obviously there's what you saw, and right there, just an innocent victim of it. Yeah. So exactly as you described, just a innocent victim of that, and we'll see. Doesn't have too much damage, but that's a pretty torn up car still. I don't know if he's going to be able to recover from it. John Estes coming down pit road as well, so he's got some damage. So that's 2 of our 14 cars currently sitting on pit road right now. The question is, will everyone else come down? We've only completed 5 laps completed 4 technically on lap 5 of our 70. So I'm not sure if these guys are going to come down pit road or not, but we'll definitely be waiting to see.
Yeah, and Charles, do you happen to know the way these cars are set up if they have a fast repair at their disposal?
I'm thinking they do. If I am mistaken, they do have a fast repair.
Yep, they do. Just watch John Estes miraculously buff out all of his damage that he got there in turn 1. So he is going to have a fully repaired car, and he may even stay on the lead lap. This is a big track.
Yeah, he may do it, as we'll see. I don't think he is going to go. However, Ronald Vincent will go. He's already a lap down. He had to tow, so he had enough damage that car had to tow. So he will have a fast repair. Unfortunately, he's going to go a lap down regardless because of the fact that he has to tow. And that's like a 3-minute tow when you're under caution. So surprisingly enough, you have during a caution they add a minute. It's usually 2 minutes, but they actually add a minute when you're under caution. So very surprising there. But we're watching pit road here as everybody is coming down pit road. There they are.
A couple of guys making split-second decisions. Second place, Jason Allison stays out.
And no surprise there for Jason Allison to stay out there, as he has nothing on the line here. He doesn't race full-time, so he is out here for the win. That would be my guess. And while we have caution here, let's pull him to the booth real quick. I'll pull him up here. We'll have a chat with him. If we can't get a word in. Jason Allison, you got a copy?
10-4.
Well, we are figuring here as we're going on board here with you with the T&D Rustic Decor onboard camera. You race part-time, you don't have a championship on the line. Are you staying out there just going for the win here tonight?
No, I actually stayed out so that I could go to the back just to see how the racing is actually going to be.
Oh, well, there you go. I was completely wrong. I figured you were just hanging out there getting the win, or trying to get the win here. That being said, do you think you have a car here that could potentially get in victory lane? I know you've been up front for most of this race.
As long as I can stay out of trouble, yeah, I can probably be up there at least for a top 3. Hopefully win again, but you never know.
Well, we'll definitely be looking to see if you can do so. Again, talking to Jason Allison, obviously the one that built the overlays and animations here for us out here racing tonight. So good to see you back behind the wheel again. Obviously, we've already planned more work for you here when you get done. But yeah, any shout outs real quick you want to give before we let you go?
I'd have to say RTRL again for always doing the hosting for us, as well as VRN for doing the broadcasting for us as well.
All right, well, we'll get you back up there. Again, that was Jason Allison driving the 28 here today in that Corvette. And that was a quick word with him thanks to T&D Rustic Decor. You can check him out at tndrusticdecor.com, as he is going to go make his pit stop here. So we are going to jump up to your leader, Jeff Dotson. So he's only won 1 race this season, Jeff Dotson, and that number 3. But he may have a chance here. It looks like he's going to opt to take the outside lane for the restart.
Yeah, I don't know enough about the pit strategy of these cars to know how well, or how long it takes to get 2 tires or 4 tires up to temperature here on this track. But he came from 8th position on the caution out front by a long distance. So I have to imagine he took 2 or no tires to get out ahead of Jeremy Horn and Charles Smith, the 2 championship contenders that were up at the front, along with Jason Allison. So Jeff Dotson going to be playing defense on this restart. That should be interesting to see.
Yeah, he's a good driver. We always like to tease him, say he doesn't win. He says he doesn't win, but he is a very talented driver, and we're going to wait to see if he can possibly pull this one off, as it looks like they're going to drag race it here to the start, as they're just going back and forth here at this front lane, or the front row here, just having a little fun with each other. But again, Jeff Dotson starting this race on the outside. We're going to zoom out just a little bit so you can get a better view. But the pace car is getting ready to dive off because they're in turn 3. And of course you can see on the wall, what turn 4, question mark. Pace car dives off. Green flag back in the air. We are racing once again here at Pocono Raceway. The tricky triangle. Jeff Dotson out front. Jeremy Horn behind him. And here comes everyone else. And we got some people tagging each other in the back bumpers. They go 3 wide into turn 1.
3 wide for the lead, no less. 2 championship contenders on the inside. Jeff Dotson, the leader, on the outside. They sorted out. And Jeremy Horn wastes absolutely no time saying, hey, I'm in charge here. He's out front as Dotson and Smith are left to battle for second place.
Yeah, and that won't stay long. They will keep going up there. And here comes the 12 and the 72 of Stephen Leffler's going to get by Jeff Dotson as well. Will Simon Thorns in the 57 be able to get by him as well? Jeff Dotson falling like a rock right now to these other drivers, and they're on the same tires. They all have fresh tires. They all did pit, but he is falling backwards very quickly. And to look at Jeff Dotson as starting information, he started 8th, so he's in 4th. So he has about an 8th place car based on qualifying, and he is having a hard time staying up at the front right now, as he's going to probably lose another spot to Simon Thorns right now.
He is holding his own right now on the outside. He was doing that in turns 2, 3, and all the way back into turn 1. Simon Thorns is not able to get any ground on him, but right behind him, here comes Michael Palmer, teamed up with Mark McFadden. They look like they might want to go 3 wide into turn 2. I would advise against that here.
And they did think about it. They settled it out, decided 2 wide was the way to go. Michael McFadden and a caution coming out. And it's going to be Jim Whaley Jr. and looks like maybe John Estes involved. Let's go back and take a quick look. Something going horribly wrong here as we're watching Jim Whaley Jr. I'm not sure what might have happened. Up here, it may have started at Ronald Vincent in the 37, so we'll hang around with him for the moment. Oh, the 80 just out of nowhere right into the 37. And then, actually, the 46 didn't get involved. He was just slowing down to avoid it. But let's go back and take another quick look here from Ronald Vincent. Let's go on board with him. Thanks to T&D Rustic Decor onboard camera. And see what might have happened. Is here in a second, you'll see him get nailed. I'm not sure what happened to the 80, but something happened to John Estes, and he just ran over the 37 here.
I don't know what to make of that. First thing that comes to mind is a possible disconnection issue in his wheel. I know it's happened on a start at Michigan in the Northwest Truck Series before. I was a victim of that. Somebody else had their wheel disconnect on the start. I don't know if that's what happened here, but that looked like a violent hit. It
did, and we're going to go back here again and look from another angle here from TV1 and see if we can figure out what happened maybe with the 80, as he literally just turned straight up. I don't think maybe a wheel disconnected or something happened.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get a better view. It looked like he hit the brakes and it just shot straight to the right. Not sure what exactly happened to him. But we'll see. Maybe we can get a quick word in with John Estes, as he is on pit road here. If we can't pull him down. John, you got a copy?
Yeah.
Well, we're trying to figure out what happened. It looked like he hit the brakes to go into the corner, and the car just shot to the right.
You never saw the 28 pull up alongside of me and wasn't clear and shot across the front of me?
I probably caught it and just missed it from the angle we were sawing, but that would explain what happened. Just a bad angle for us to see, but definitely not what you expected, I'm sure. It looks like you're going to be on pit road for a little bit, but looks like you had a pretty good car there before that happened, of course. We'll go back and see if we can get a different angle on there, but does it look like you're going to be able to get it back out, or is it pretty bad damage here today?
No, it's done.
Oh, that is not how you want to end the season, being out of the race, but anyone you want to give a shout out to out there that was watching, hopefully We'll hang in there, and we'll see you back next season.
No, not at this time anyway.
All right, well, we'll get you back up to the race channel.
Thank you.
All right, well, there you have it. Just couldn't see that. Well, maybe go back and look here in a little bit if we get a chance.
I'm actually looking at that, and on my screen, the two cars look like they're about 10 feet apart, but I'm watching the 28 specifically. It does actually look like there was some net code there, so possibly on Esta's screen, he was right there in the back bumper of Allison. On my screen, they're about 10 feet apart, but right as he goes into the corner, there's a definite jump on Allison's car.
Oh, again, that has been known to play here. Unfortunately, sometimes netcode or it can play tricks on you here. But that being said, Jason Allison did just blink too, so that could be posing a problem here. Regardless of that, so we're back up to the front here. Jeremy Horn still leading this race. And your other championship contender is back in 6th place, Charles Smith in the 12. So right now this race belongs to the 14, who has led 8 of the 12 laps, or 11 laps completed, 12 laps about to be completed.
Yeah, the other ones are supposedly left by Jeff Dotson there under the caution. So basically the entire green flag run of this race has been in Jeremy Horn's hands. Yeah, unfortunate for Estes there to get caught up in both of the first 2 wrecks. It looks like at least one, if not both of them, were out of his hands and not his fault. But the good news is that we still have both of our championship contenders in good shape. One's leading, one's running 6th, and we still have about 58, 59 laps remaining in what is going to be a great event.
It is indeed. Lights are still on the pace car, so we are actually going to step away here for just a minute, as it takes us 2 minutes to get around this track. So we are going to step away to a quick commercial break and we will be right back.
I spent my whole life chained to the wall, hungry for more, not afraid to fall. Had to cut a man down to get where I am, but someone had to tumble and someone had to stand. Don't try to fight, there's nothing you can do, and I'm gonna run all over you. It's too late to try, there's nothing you can do. I'm gonna run all over you. I'm looking for new blood, and nothing's gonna stop me now. Yeah, I'm looking for new blood, and nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me. Looking for new blood.
All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. And we want to thank everybody for tuning in here and watching this course after it is over as well. The lights are off on the pace car. The 14 of Jeremy Horn out front. That means we're getting ready to get this thing going. And David will hand it over to you to get this thing going here for the restart here on lap 14.
All right, Jeremy Horn has the lead. Stephen Leffler to his outside. Second row is Simon Thorns. Mark McFadden. Pace car is off and green is out. Jeremy Horn didn't waste any time going. He's clear of the 72 of Leffler. I see Allison and Thorns have blocked bumpers on the inside, pushing each other as hard as they can into turn 1. They're already clear of McFadden on the outside, and looking to the inside for second place is Thorns. Can't quite make it work on Leffler, and what do you know? Jeremy Horn is out front of you.
He is. Jeremy Horton probably will lead the most unless something happens to this. He's a very good driver. Jason Allison trying to work his way back up to the front. So he's definitely getting up there. We'll see if he can get back to the front. I believe the highest he's been is 4th, and that's where he's sitting right now. So it's kind of like hitting that brick wall once he gets up there. But he's working over Simon Thorns. But I think Simon Thorns is probably going to hold him off if he's a very good driver as well. Charles Smith, your other championship driver, sitting in 5th place right now, trying to see if he can get up there and battle with the lead. Again, whoever finishes the highest will win the championship here tonight.
And Jeremy Horn making it known he's already got his vote in for who that should be, and leaving no imagination as to how good his car is on the track right now. Stephen Leffler, though, has not fallen back very far. On previous restarts, we've seen quite a larger gap between Horn and the second-place car, but Leffler is right there, 2 car lengths back, and that means Horn is having to make some evasive maneuvers to keep Leffler out of his draft.
He is indeed. You'll probably see him duck down really far here as he's going to do a little there, and not as far as they've done in the past. We have seen him duck really far down as these cars can get quite a bit of draft here. But Jason Allison moves into 3rd place, and actually he started 3rd, so he has been as high as 3rd as he's working his way through this field very methodically, trying to work over Stephen Leffler right now in the 72 machine, and he's going to try to get up there. I don't know if he's going to be able to, but he is a good driver. He has won before as well, so it'll be interesting to see if he can get up there and try to shake this up for the championship.
I have raced with Jason Allison once before in my life. It was actually my very first race at Northwest Truck Series at Atlanta. He came 2nd, so I have no doubt about his racing ability. But look at that battle for 2nd. He's on the inside of Stephen Leffler, and he might try to get clear. He's not quite there yet. Now he is.
He is indeed clear, and he is going to take the spot. See if he can. There he is, 2nd place for Jason Allison. And now they're up close and personal. You can see these numbers on the side of these cars. It makes it a little difficult here. These cars, because of the fact that it's that little bitty number plate on the side of the car, it makes it so hard to see. But these guys are doing a fantastic job here, trying to make it as easy as we can for them. But Jason Allison may try to make a bid for the lead here in the next couple of laps, as he is right there on the back bumper. Jeremy Horn, like you said a second ago, not getting the big jump that he has gotten in the past, as these guys are starting to reel him in.
Also entirely possible he was saving his stuff, but Jason Allison's not saving his stuff. He's on the inside in turn 2.
He is not saving anything at all here tonight, trying to get the lead, and he is right there. And he may push the 14 just a little bit, but at the end of the day, he still wants to win. And even if Jeremy Horn does finish 2nd, and Allison wins, he still wins the championship. So if Allison is faster, if Horn knows as well as we do, don't force the issue. Don't try to race him too much and burn up your tires unless you see Charles Smith coming. But right now he is sitting back in 5th place. Keep that in mind, though. These guys are separated by .133 between 1st and 5th. Allison gets loose.
Yeah, he's falling back. I'm trying to get my camera on him. He was on the inside, and he looks like he's going to hit the inside wall coming out there. Is the caution out?
It is not. No caution for Jason Allison. Single car spin off the racing surface. He's going to fall all the way to 11th and lose a ton of time and have significant damage to that car. So that huge threat from the 28 of Jason Allison, that has been lifted from Jeremy Horn, as he does not have him right on his bumper now.
That must have been a really heart-pounding moment for all those guys up the front of the field to see somebody battling for the lead all of a sudden sideways. They take evasive maneuvers. But yes, great news for the leaders now, as Horn now only has 1 car to worry about. That's Stephen Leffler. Although, don't look now, but Charles Smith running 3rd. He's around Cape Hart. He's around Allison, obviously, and he's trying to track down Leffler and bring Horn right to him.
He is indeed, and you know what you got to keep in mind is a caution does come out, and it looks like it's going to be Jeff Dotson going around this time on the racing surface. So let's go back and take a look. I believe it was probably just a self-spin. all by himself here, the number 3 of Jeff Dotson, as we go to the VRN replay camera. And I really do think it was just a self-spin, as there's nobody around him to potentially even get into him. So we'll take a look here and see. Yep, coming out of turn 1, just spins it around. It ends up bringing it to a stop and then backing it up on the track. So that will bring out the caution here for about the third time, I do believe it is. We go back to
third time.
It is third caution, 6 laps, 51 laps to go. 3 different lead changes. Horn, Dotson, and Allison, your only leaders here in the race. We'll go back up to the front, and I expect to see these guys coming down pit road this time.
Yeah, little early gamble under that first caution came out on lap 2 or so for everybody to pit. And then they didn't pit on the next one, so they're obviously trying to figure out how their tires are going to work on this track. I wouldn't be surprised if the 2 spins by both Allison and Dotson in the same corner, basically on their own without any help, is going to make these guys start thinking, ooh, turn 1's going to be really hard on my tires. I may want to pit more often. I may want to change my line or change my attack into that corner. I don't know what these guys are thinking, but that has to definitely be on their radar right now.
Yeah, 2 tires, 4 tires, fuel. We know they're going to take fuel probably. So 2 tires or 4 tires will be a question that will have to be answered. Will everybody come down? That's another thing we've got to look for. Is will everyone come down? Will anyone fake it? And so far, looking at your leaders here, as we're going to zoom out to camera 3, nobody's faking it. We do have 1 car not going down. But I believe that is a lap car of the 37, Ronald Vincent. It is indeed. So he cannot come in. So he's going to get the lucky dog and get his lap back. But everybody else coming down pit road.
That's great news for the 37. Get back on that lead lap. And let's see. Jason Allison, trying to find him. He is also on pit road to get that damage repaired. He might use his fast repair here. He might roll the dice and not. We'll see what happens, but everybody's on pit road. Just wait for the first person to move.
Yeah, and it's a little difficult here to see how many tires they take as we're watching pit road. I would imagine Allison only took 2, as he was only on pit road at 10.8 seconds. But the way these cars are compared to like the Cup cars or trucks or whatever, Xfinity, where one side gets lifted up, then the other, the whole car gets lifted up here at one time. So that makes it a little bit more difficult to know what they took. However, based on time, 24 seconds for Charles Smith, Jeremy Horn 25 for Leffler, Jason Allison only taking 10.8 seconds on pit road in his pit stall. You know, at that point he had to have only taken 2 tires and fuel.
See if it has the same effect on him as it did Jeff Dotson, who went all the way back from 1st to 6th in 1 lap after doing the same strategy. We shall see, but the point is, for our championship battle, we have a change for that lead. Running 2nd is Charles Smith, and he's ahead of Jeremy Horn for the first time this race.
He is indeed. He has yet to lead a lap, but he is higher on the track, and that's all that matters, as Jeremy Horn is sitting right behind him in 3rd place. We'll see, can Jeremy Horn get back by Charles Smith? We'll see. It doesn't matter if he wins or not. All he's got to do is finish ahead of him. As you can see right there, that little green dot on Jeremy Horn's car is just going to update to there. 2 green dots, indicating he is in 2nd place now for Jeremy Horn, as Charles Smith takes the lead and Allison comes down to pit road once again. He was just there. So his strategy before, he was wanting to go to the back. That may be what this is for as well. We'll just have to wait and see, but he is going to pit for a 2nd time.
And Charles Smith has the advantage now of choosing what he's going to do on this restart. Inside line, outside line, he gets to choose when he's going to hit the gas. He also has a lap lead under his belt. Any other race, that would definitely give him an advantage, possibly with the points. But with this race, nope. Laps 1 through 69, doesn't matter who leads. Lap 70 is the one that matters. And that is currently 58 laps out from here. 48 laps out.
It is indeed, as we'll drop that arrow fast and pull up our cautions again. 49 laps to go, going to be 48 at the line. So we're getting a race not going by very quickly. We've seen a few cautions, but again, when you see 3 cautions, that doesn't seem like too terribly many. But again, you're looking at about 2 minutes around this track versus less than a minute around here. So that's a minute 10 more a lap, roughly, under caution. So it takes forever to get around this track when you're pacing. And of course, you know, it's a long time for us, for the fans. It's a long time for these drivers, too, to sit in this car for 2 minutes when you're used to running a lap a minute.
Absolutely. Yeah, this track, Talladega, Daytona, Michigan Auto Club, Indianapolis, they're fun to race at, but caution comes out and you just know, hell, for the next 7 minutes, I'm going to be running at 60 miles an hour, just watching the car in front of me do the little weave back and forth, back and forth. The lights are out on the pace car, though, as they come across the start-finish line. You know what that means. Charles Smith is going to be leading the field to green 2.5 miles from now.
We are indeed going green here in just a few moments. Well, about 2 minutes still. So again, while we're under caution, we are going to step away here for just about 30 seconds, get a quick word in from one of our sponsors, and then we will be right back. All right, we are back here, and just a quick word from one of our advertising partners here. We are back. Lights are off still. We are in turn 2, so coming on, I guess you'd call it a backstretch. Not really a backstretch, but we are going to be coming into turn 3 here in just a minute. There is no turn 4. This is, again, the tricky triangle. 3 corners, no 4th corner like we're used to seeing. These guys are handling it very well, as we are on lap 23 of 70, about to be on lap 24 when they get the green flag. And you said a second ago, Charles Smith opting to take the inside lane here for the restart. Your 2 championship contenders out front, side by side, as the pace car dives off. Green flag back in the air. Jeremy Horn on the loud pedal. Charles Smith right beside him, and they're going to drag race to the line. And it was very close at the line.
James Capehart right up on the back bumper of Jeremy Horn. That could be some drafting help going into turn 1. They are still side by side. Small advantage to Smith on the inside. Not clear yet. He's clear now as he goes to the lead for the first time this race under green.
He has been for the first time under green, and everybody behind him putting on a heck of a show as they're still bunched up, and they may make it 3 wide here. And I think the 72 of Stephen Leffler is going to think better of that, as he is going to settle for 3rd place. And this is a scary time for your championship contenders right now, as these guys behind them want to get to the lead. And you've got both lead championship contenders right there together. If one of these guys gets in there and slips up or hits the wall and comes down, he could very well take both of them out of the race.
There was a close call between Smith and Leffler coming out of turn 2, as Leffler tried to get to Smith's outside, and Smith blocked him so he could have a better shot at Jeremy Horn. He's on the outside of turn 1 now, trying to get his lead back. Not going to get it, as Horn has the lead. Smith is 2nd, and Stephen Leffler's falling to 4th.
Horn didn't take any time, waste any time at all getting back to the lead right now. So we'll take a look at your top 5 after 24 laps completed. It is Jeremy Horn, Charles Smith, James Capehart, Stephen Leffler, and Mark McFadden, who we've not talked about a whole lot, sitting in 5th place right now and doing a fantastic job of it. He's a little off this main group, as you have to go a little ways up to get to them, but your front 4 have really pulled away from that second group, but Mark McFadden leading a huge group here of about 4 to 5 cars.
Up at the front, Charles Smith was able to make the outside line in turn 3, get some momentum.
Oh, caution, sorry. It's going to be 2 cars. Didn't mean to cut you off. Michael Palmer and Paul Cohen involved in this. We'll go back and take a quick look.
That was so close at the front of the field, too. I think Smith may have been ahead of Horn on the track for the lead, but we'll come back to that. Let's see what happened on the wreck.
I believe you are correct on that as we're watching the VRN replay camera here. Something happened between the 31 and the 51. I'm not sure here. The 51 was on the inside. That is Paul Cohen. And I'm not sure if one came up or one went down. But either way, they made contact.
It looks like they met in the middle. That's an unfortunate place to be. And both of them with heavy front damage going into the turn, not the turn wall, the front stretch wall. And the, I'm looking for Simon Thorne's, the 57 car, just got lucky and got to the outside of him before anything happened to him.
Yeah, I definitely agree. As we're going back one more time here. Just so hard to see. I'm wondering if the 51 maybe came up a little bit more. Just it's so hard to tell here as we're watching. I think the 51 may have came up a little bit more, but they did make contact regardless. And that is going to cost both of them a lot of positions on the track as we go back to live. And I believe you were right. Charles Smith was back out front. Or either they went back to the last scoring loop when they were crossing the line, and it did give him the lead.
What was funny is that I was in the middle of saying that Smith was able to make the outside line in turn 3 work, got the momentum, got to the outside of Horn. At the line, Horn had the lead. At the end of the front straightaway, Smith was barely ahead, and that's when the caution came out, and Smith was able to not have the lead at the line, have the lead at the end of the straightaway. He's got the lead now.
Yeah, and again, that is all that matters is when you have it. Sometimes you get lucky, and he did indeed get very lucky to regain the lead. We'll see how long he can hang on to it this time. He's led 3 laps, so he didn't lead very many on that last one. But he is leading some more here, but that doesn't mean anything, as we'll see if everybody's going to come down. And we got some trickery going on. Your second place car, Jeremy Horn, playing some tricks on this field and does not go down pit road.
Jeremy Horn not the only one to stay out. Jason Allison does as well as Ronald Vincent all lead lap. Actually, no, Ronald Vincent appears to be a lap down himself. So it's going to be Horn and Allison at the front of the field. Allison may come back and pit again if that's going to be a strategy. But Smith will have the fresh tires and will be very close to Horn on the restart. That could be an advantage on his part.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on these guys to see what they do. Will Jason Allison come back down once again? Will Jeremy Horn be able to hold off this field? 7 laps on those tires. Of course, about 5 of them only under green flag conditions. So will they be able to hold them off? Looks like Simon Thornes is going to be 3rd. Charles Smith going to be 4th. So once again, Horn out front, but this time due to a caution and not pitting.
And Simon Thornes was really close to that wreck that happened earlier. He was further back in the pack around 5th or 6th or so when those two guys collided. So a nice quick pit stop by him all of a sudden has the 57 car up near the front for this.
It is indeed. And look here, that is caution number 4 for 9 laps. Again, we talked about it. It seems like we've been under caution for about 50 laps, but it's not. It's just because this track is so big, it takes so long to get around that it seems like they take forever to get around here. And I would not want to be behind the wheel in this car right now, going around this track at this slow pace of 75 miles an hour is what they're doing right now. So slow. 7 different lead changes, though.
So slow, 75 miles an hour. That's greater than the speed limit in my state, and that still feels slow.
Yeah.
Jeremy Horn has the lead. Simon Thornes and Jason Allison and Simon Thornes 2nd and 3rd. They come past to start the entrance to pit lane, and Jason Allison, no trickery there. He's going to stay right behind Jeremy Horn, and it looks like he may just want to start 2nd for this one.
Yeah, I think he is too. Though not going on pit road this time. He's going to hang out front and see if maybe he can lead some laps. So 8 laps on the tires for Jeremy Horn, 7 for Jason Allison, 1 for everybody else behind him. That is significantly fresher tires here. We'll see what kind of times those equate to once they get going. As we've, again, already seen a driver come to the front on those tires. And that was Jeff Dotson, and just got swallowed by this field very quickly as he falls back about 7 positions. So can Jeremy Horn and Jason Allison hold off this field on old tires? Well, we'll know that here in just about 2 laps.
The difference for Jeff Dotson is he was the only one that stayed out, which means that fresh tires had a clean shot on one side of him to get to the front. Horn and Allison with older tires, they've got the front row locked up. So if Thorns or Smith is going to be making a move there, it may take a little longer. It may take a risky 3-wide move into the corner. But yeah, we are only 29 laps out of 70 in, so if you're going to see what your car is capable of and take a gamble, do it now. You might not have another chance.
Yeah, do it while you can, so before you run out of time. As we'll be watching to see, but it's going to be a very tricky one. The lights are still on, so we still have 1 more lap to get around this track before we go racing once again. It's just so long to get around it, but we'll definitely be getting there soon. Not much talk about here. We're going to step away for just a moment, and we'll be right back as they're getting ready to take the green flag. Alright, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, and they are, of course, on in between turn 2 and 3. Again, now they're at turn 3, not really a backstretch. But they are here, and as they're getting ready to go green, we do have Randy Post with us here. Had to take care of some stuff before we got here, but 3 people in the booth here tonight for you, as Randy Post has made it here. And there it is, green flag back in the air. Jeremy Horn on the loud pedal once again. Jason Allison on his outside. Old tires for these guys. Everybody else on fresh tires. And it looks like Jason Allison is going to fly by on the outside.
That was a masterful restart by Allison. He let Horn have the lead at the line, but was going faster when they got there. So he's on the outside trying to make it happen, but no dice. That's Jeremy Horn up at the front of the field again. Charles Smith side by side with Simon Thorns, with James Capehart pushing for the battle for third.
It is indeed. And just to catch you up, Randy, you're getting loaded in here. Our 2 championship drivers are Jeremy Horn and Charles Smith. And yes, that sounds great. Simon Thorns right there trying to get by Stephen Leffler, and I think he's going to make it happen.
He does indeed. His main battle right now is Charles Smith, who is ahead of him on the outside in 3rd place coming down the front straightaway. It's Horn, Allison, Smith, Thorns, Leffler, your top 5, and that's a battle for 3rd with 3 cars under a blanket.
It is indeed, and we got Randy watching the rear end of the field here for us. So any battles going on back there we need to know about, Randy?
Not really right now. It looks like 51 of Paul Cohen and 40 of...
Yeah, Paul Cohen there with Ronald Vincent ahead. Yeah.
Yep. Those guys are racing a little bit, but got a guy that's hanging back quite a bit.
Cohen is 2 laps down after the wreck.
Okay.
Mark Koshik, the last one on the lead lap in what appears to be 12th place. At the front of the field, though, Stillhorn, Allison, Smith, and the battle is right there for the 4th through 6th positions.
Oh, something's going back here. I see about midfield. Not 5, about 4th, 5th, guess it's towards the front. It looks like the 57 of Simon Thorns almost got into Stephen Leffler as they made a little contact there. A huge battle going on for 4th through about 7th right now, as the 48 Mark McFadden hadn't talked about him again a whole lot. These guys are really starting to duke it out here midfield, and it's just going to be a good battle, I think, once they get going here, but it's going to take them a minute to see who is going to be where as far as where they want to be, but once they get into a groove, I think we'll see some good racing again.
Charles Smith has just made the pass on Jason Allison for the 2nd position, and now that means the only car left in front of him is the only car left in front of him for the championship. Jeremy Horn about 20 car lengths as Jason Allison is trying to hold off Simon Thorns. Everybody's in single file line going down the front straightaway, and now there's some gamesmanship going into turn 1.
Looked like they were going to get 3 wide a little bit earlier there for 4th place. So they're getting single file now. It looks like everybody's getting a little spread out, but it was a little dicey for a while there.
It is, and indeed was getting dicey there. They really have settled out now, going single file, as we're just about at the halfway point. We'll pull that up real fast. We're going to be there very quickly here for 7 laps. 37 laps left to go. We have completed 33. So coming up on the halfway point here so far. 4 cautions. Again, 11 caution laps. Again, not too many. Just seems like enough. But we have had 7 lead changes so far. Jeremy Horn, Charles Smith, Jeff Dutton, and Jason Allison have been the only ones to lead laps, as it looks like Simon Thorns is trying to work over Charles Smith right now.
Thorns managed to put Allison behind him, brought Kate Hart along, and Smith has this whole time, after he got by Allison for a second, has been trying to pull in the leader, but instead he's been playing defense, and now he's got a car to his inside that's Simon Thorns. Advantage Thorns going into turn 2, and Smith does not put up the fight. He does not want the outside line in turn 2. He can work on Thorns later.
Yeah, it looked like he blew by him pretty quick. So I wonder what's going on with Charles Smith there.
Probably just doesn't want to be on the outside line in turn 2. That's a single file corner. You can go 2 wide and 1 and 3 and have fun, but turn 2, you don't want to go 2 wide or 3 wide there unless you know what you're doing. And Smith does have a championship to think about. We're only halfway through. He's not too concerned about Simon Thorns. If he can just get to the end of this race and have a shot at Jeremy Horn, that's his main goal.
Yeah, and that is the end game here. Championship on the line. This is a season finale. So, after this, as a caution does come out, we'll get back to that. And it's going to be Jeff Dotson again, who is spraying the track for mosquitoes right now, smoking out the back of that car. Let's go back and take a quick look.
One of our leaders early on in this race. That just hurts to see so much damage to that car.
Yeah, it definitely does, and we may have to get a word in with him here in a minute to see what happened once we take a look at the replay. We'll see here. He just goes into a turn 2, I believe that was, and just broke it loose. It was turn 3. There's turn 1. Ooh, breaks it loose and almost collected another car with him, as he is back on the track now. But there, he may not even have pitted yet. He doesn't, because he still has a ton of damage. Randy, if you want to pull him down, we'll get a quick word in with him and see what might have happened to Jeff Dotson.
All right.
The good news is Michael Palmer, the guy who finished him off in the corner, doesn't look like he has a whole lot of damage.
That is definitely a plus for him. We have Jeff Dotson here, onboard camera running with T&D Rustic Zakor. Jeff, just run us through what happened there. I believe looks like it just broke loose on you.
Yeah, that's what happened. It was coming off turn 1. Car felt fine. I didn't feel nothing right until I got to the exit of the corner, and no warning, just lost it.
Well, it looked like I think that's the second time it's done that. Is this car today been prone to breaking loose, or is it just all of a sudden, again, like you just said a second ago, that it's just deciding to break loose, or has it been a problem here in practice as well?
I didn't get any practice laps in, so I really can't say in practice, but I know there's been, when I ran my qualifying run, though, it didn't feel this way, but there's been a few of the drivers in the race here tonight saying that they feel like they're getting loose on the longer runs, and that right rear tire is really getting hot, and I think we're thinking that's the culprit.
Well, definitely not a good thing. You don't want cars just randomly breaking loose and spinning out on you. But the good thing is, well, I say good, you might be able to get out. Have you used your fast repair yet?
No, but I had to tow there because the motor popped. So, yeah, that's going to be a bummer there. As I'm going to go a lap down and do the tows. I still got 2.5 minutes on that. So, yeah, but I still got my quick fix, so I'll be able to get back out there.
Well, that is a bummer that you are going to have to tow it now. I can say, on a plus side, the silver lining to this, that not one of us broadcasters or commentators did pick you, so it's not a curse from us that got sent your way. But it does stink here, especially on the season finale before this season comes to an end. But hopefully we'll get to talk to you again before it's all said and done, and you sign off for this season to get ready for the next season. But other than that, how was the race going? And it looked like you had a good car. You did lead some laps.
Yeah, the lap sled was just a pit strategy call that I tried on that first caution there, or second, whenever it was there, and we had the first round of pit stops there. I didn't take any fuel. People thought I only took 2 tires, or they didn't really know what I did, and I didn't say anything, but I'll leak it out now. I just took tires and didn't take fuel, and that's the only thing that got me out front there and let me lead a few laps. But other than that, this is probably one of the more challenging setups that I've had to drive with these Corvettes this season. I've missed a few races that I wasn't able to attend, but most of the races that I've had, they've been fun. And this one here, I'll be honest, it's still a great setup, but it's a challenge when you get those rear tires hot on a run, and you get the longer the run on them, the more it heats up and the looser it wants to get. So, I mean, and sometimes it'll feel like you're okay going into the corner, and when you're in the middle of the corner, then once you get that exit, that tire just unloads on you, and it just wants to send you around. And that time it was just no warning, and I couldn't catch it.
Well, it definitely didn't have any warning. It didn't look like it had any warning there. But we'll let you go so you can get back in there and talk to the guys up there and see if you can't get that car back out once it's done towing. And we'll again see if we can't talk to you after this race to talk about upcoming season and whatnot. So we'll let you go.
All righty, thank you very much.
All right, we are back here, of course, still under caution. So again, so long under caution here. So we're not going to sit here. We're going to step away one at a time. We will be back as soon as they get ready to go green. So we are going to go non-stop here, but we will be right back when they're getting ready to take the green flag. All right, we are back here, ladies and gentlemen. Mark McFadden out front. He didn't stay out, or didn't stay out. He did stay out. He didn't pit.
Yes, he stayed out.
If I can get it out properly here, he is going to be on the inside for the restart as they are coming into turn 3. And again, turn 4 here at Pocono Raceway. There it is, and green flag is back in the air. Mark McFadden on the gas pedal here. Charles Smith on his outside. And it looks like they've got James Cart. Okay, wow, Capehart pushing him. Jeremy Horn's going to take third. And Jason Allison weighs back in 8th place right now. He has got his work cut out for him to get back to the front.
And Mark McFadden was just split on the inside and outside by our championship contenders Horn and Smith. Horn down low, Smith up high. And Smith's the one that didn't get clear. Horn did get clear, and he's back to the lead. But McFadden is right back to his bumper, looking to the inside in turn 2.
Yeah, I was watching the back here, and Mark Koshik. Oh, and we got a caution. It looks like Charles Smith possibly.
Oh, we got cars.
Car upside down.
Woo! You are right, Charles Smith involved, Randy, and about 5 other cars involved in this one.
Ronald Vincent upside down, James Capehart, Charles Smith, Paul Cohen, Jim Whaley Jr., and somebody else I didn't catch, but about 6 cars involved in that huge pileup in turn 2.
Yeah, that definitely is going to limit our field a little bit as we're watching the replay here. Randy, you can kind of walk us through what happened.
All right, let me get back there. And looked like Charles Smith had gotten pushed up outside. You know, Charles Smith lost it a little bit like Jeff Dotson had, and it must have been a really greasy corner because everybody else kind of got loose and collected each other as well. Charles Smith didn't hit anybody else other than the wall, so that's pretty good.
Simon Thorns, Jason Capehart, basically everybody else just with nowhere to go, all trying to get out of the way in turn 2. For as wide a track as this is, turn 2 is a tight corner, and when somebody goes sideways, you got very few places to scramble.
A ton of cars going around there. We'll take a look here and see who all is on pit road. And it looks like Ronald Vincent, Jim Whaley Jr., Paul Cohen going to be on pit road after this, as well as James Capehart, Charles Smith coming down pit road under his own power. That is good. That means he won't have to tow, but that car is not wanting to handle this. He barely makes it into pit road. He does use his fast repair, but he is going to be well back in the field, and that is good news for the 14 of Jeremy Horn.
Yep, that forces Charles Smith's hand. You don't want to use a fast repair too early for little minimal damage, but that's the one that's going to have him taking his fast repair now. So with a little less than half the race to go, he has played his hand. He's also got his work cut out for him. He's got a long way to get up to the field. Jeremy Horn, on the other hand, has led the majority of this race. Obviously, there was a fast repair and a litany of slower cars behind him since a lot of faster cars got involved in that wreck. Horn may have a pretty easy time with this restart, but Charles Smith will be coming with a fury.
It looks like we got a couple more cars coming down pit road. We got Mark Koshik, Mark McFadden, Michael Palmer. That looks like everybody else has been pit here. It looks like Jeremy Horn, Simon Thorns, Jason Allison, they all stayed out. So could be a good pit strategy, and we'll see how it pays off for everybody.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of that here is, different strategies, people staying out. Jason Allison has been to the front, to the back. He has been just about every position on this track so far, except for staying on pit road, as we do have a ton of cars on pit road right now. We'll see how many of these guys are going to come back out. It looks like Mark Koshik is going to come back out on the track. Question is, will Steven Leffler come out? I don't see too terribly much damage on that car. It looks like he should be able to come back out, but we have James Capehart, Ronald Vincent is now actually Jim Whaley Jr., Paul Cohen, and John Estes out of the race. And Ronald Vincent has officially packed it up, but Paul Cohen is coming back out, and Jim Whaley Jr. coming out as well. So only one on pit road still is James Capehart and John Estes. So even though there was a big wreck there, a lot of these guys use their fast repair and are able to come back out onto the track.
Just waiting on James Capehart and Stephen Leffler to see what they're going to do. The pace car is coming to the start-finish line, and car coming out of the pit road is Stephen Leffler. We're just waiting on to see whether or not James Capehart's going to be able to get out before the pace car. He's got just a few seconds left.
Yeah, and Charles Smith coming back down. Sorry, I handed it over back to Randy.
As well as Jeff Dotson, they both came back down. I don't know if that's for fuel or if it's for more damage, or if they got a speeding penalty or something the last time they pit. Looks like, yep, just those two guys are going to be on pit road now, along with James Capehart and John Estes.
Yep, Capehart did not make it out before the pace car, so he will officially go a lap down.
He will indeed. So he's still on the pit road there. So we'll go back up to Jeremy Horn, who is your race leader. And he is going to try to stay out there for the remainder of this race, I'm sure. We'll see if he can do so. Simon Thorne is behind him. Right now, with Charles Smith back in 7th place, Jeremy Horn is sitting in a very safe place as we're on lap 44 of 70. We're going to be going green to start lap 46 as we'll pull up your caution chart here. Again, so far a very caution-filled race, I guess you could say. 6 cautions, 17 laps. We have raced more than we've been under caution. It just doesn't seem like it because of how long it takes to get around here. But 27 laps to go with 9 different lead changes. Still the same leaders. Horn, McFadden has led now 4 laps. Smith, Dotson, and Allison are your only race leaders here in tonight's race.
And up at the front of the field, 3 very familiar names. Jeremy Horn, Simon Thorne, Jason Allison are all teamed up at the front of the field. In 4th place, a name we haven't mentioned in the battle for the lead very much, is the 31 of Michael Palmer, beneficiary of a lot of other drivers getting knocked out. But now up there in 4th position, I think he's the first driver that came out of pit lane. The other 3 may have stayed out. I'm not positive, but I believe that's what happened. And so Palmer running there 4th, Mark McFadden 5th, and Mark Koshik 6th. The 3 of them are going to have an opportunity for the first time this event to see if they can dice it up with the leaders.
Looks like right now that Charles Smith is going to be the last one on the lead lap. He's back in 8th, so he's going to have a lot of room to cover to make it back to try and win this championship here tonight. But we do have about 25 laps left at this track, which is a long time yet, so it definitely could happen.
Yeah, it is possible. Anything's possible here. You still got plenty of time to do it. We will be coming up on the 20 to go here very shortly. But again, 20 laps at Pocono Raceway, well, that's a lot of laps. You still have a lot of time. And needless to say, I don't think the cautions are over. I think we will see some more. The question is how many. I expect to see at least 2 more cautions, maybe just 1. We'll see how it all plays out. But I think cautions will continue here. And if they do, how many will we have and how will they affect the turnout of this race? That will be determined here in the next 26 laps.
Yeah, and only 1 or 2 of those cautions have been for actual tangles on the track between multiple cars. Several of those were brought around just by somebody getting loose, especially in turn 1. Dotson had it happen twice, Allison once, a couple other drivers had some issues in turn 1, so if we have a longer run to the finish, that may be more of a risk. We shall see, but the pace car has its lights out. They're single file coming out of turn 3 now.
And the pace car peels off, and the green flag is out. Jeremy Horn takes the lead with, looks like, 46. Oh, Jason Allison right behind him, pushing him. So we'll see if he can get ahead of everybody here and make a nice cushion for the lead.
And if he can get the... go ahead.
Sorry, no, go.
If he can get the 28 Allison to push him a little bit, I think those 2 can maybe pull out ahead, and there's another caution coming out.
Caution.
Be the 51 on Paul Cohen.
And that car is destroyed. I don't see a front bumper on that thing at all.
As do I not either. We'll see. We're watching the replay here to see what happened. And I don't think anyone's around him. I think he just may have broke loose as well.
Oh no!
Oh.
The 72 of Stephen Leffler got loose and collected the 51 of Paul Cohen.
Oh, that is unfortunate, as the 72 did break loose, and then the 51 of Paul Cohen, well, he had nowhere to go, absolutely just no room, and just ran right into him and then hit the wall hard as to bring out the caution, as we did not even complete a lap under green after the last caution.
Yeah, Stephen Leffler with heavy left front damage, but no contact to the wall, just running the middle line and breaks loose, gets turned 3/4 of the way around, and Cohen piles into him, and Leffler just goes right back to driving forward again.
He does indeed. And we might see if we get a word in here. If you want to try and pull Stephen Leffler down here with us, Randy, we'll get a quick word in with him.
Stephen, this is Randy up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So can you walk us through what happened there? It looked like you had snapped loose a little bit going into one.
Yeah, I think I had a little bit more damage than I thought. I didn't use my quick repair because I thought I was minimal, but I went into the turn and it just didn't stick. It just went around.
All right. So do you still have a fast repair that you can use, or are you gonna have to wait the time now?
No, I still have one. I was just trying to go without using it. You know, we still got some time to go, but I'm gonna have to use it now.
Right. So what's the game plan for the rest of the race? Because it seems like everybody's getting loose. Is that due to tires wearing off, or is it just a loose setup with a hot track?
Yeah, it's the tires. The tires, once they get a heat cycle on them, they're not any good. They wear pretty quick too, so once you run a couple laps, you gotta be really lightly on them going into the turn, coming off the turn. So right. I guess I'll just have to take it a little bit easier than I was earlier in the race and try and stay out of the wrecks.
Right, you guys do have a 116-degree track temp, which can definitely make things a little bit more dicey for the tires and a little more slick down there.
Yeah, our right rears are heating up pretty good. Got a temperature of 235, I believe is what it was a couple cycles ago.
All right. Well, do you got any sponsors, shout-outs to anybody you'd like to thank tonight before we get back?
Yeah, my family back in California, my family here in Pennsylvania, my wife, my son, my daughter. Get the time to do this every Saturday night and then Tuesday nights.
All right. Well, that is the 72 of Stephen Leffler, and we're gonna get back to normal broadcast here. Thank you for taking the time with us, Stephen.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, we're moving back up to the front of this field as we were talking to the 72 of Stephen Leffler. Lights are still on the pace car. We are going to step away and get a quick commercial break here, and we'll be right back here in just a few moments.
I spent my whole life chained to the wall.
All right, we are back here, still under caution here. We'll take a look. I haven't looked at it. That is our 7th caution of the night. 21 laps under caution. We have completed 48, going to be 49 laps completed at the line. 22 laps to go. Looks like we are going to go green flag racing with 20 to go. Again, that is the indicator we like to go by off of anyway. As the go time. That is when you start to go. I think we may see it a little pushed back here, maybe 15, maybe even 10 laps, just because of the fact that we've seen so many cautions. These guys are going to be a little more cautious. And two, well, it's such a big track, you know, you can get more done on one lap here than you normally can on a little short track.
Yeah, when you have just a half a mile to work with, you're going to get it done here now or right around the corner here now. And that's about it. You have a 2.5 mile racetrack with 3 long straightaways, 3 big sweeping turns, and you can make something happen basically anywhere. Yeah, but you were right about people starting to think at the back of their mind or even at the front of their mind now that we are coming to the end of a race. We have a championship on the line, and you know, you wonder for some of those other drivers, is it worth it to them to push for that 3rd or 2nd position, or even push for the lead, push their car to the ragged edge and make a mistake? That's going to be a case-by-case basis decision made by all these drivers coming here in the last 20 laps.
Most definitely. Yeah, they're starting to get a little bit more spread out on the green flag run, so that is a good sign. It's just if we can get these guys to keep the tires connected with the ground, we'll be good to go for probably the rest of the race, I would assume.
Yeah, and there it is. Lights are off on the pace car, so we are going to be getting ready to get this thing going one more time. Hopefully, we don't see any more cautions as they're coming into turn 3. You can see it right there on the camera. It's kind of printed on the wall. You have no turn 4 here, so that means pace car getting ready to dive off. And we are going to go green flag racing one more time. There is the pace car diving off. And a green flag back in the air. Jeremy Horn on the pedal once again. Jason Allison on his outside. And they're going to drag race one more time, as they've done many times already this race. And they're 2 wide, 6 deep. Who will come away with the lead? Jason Allison or Jeremy Horn? It looks like it's going to be Horn.
It's close. They were close for halfway through the corner, but yes, Horn will get the advantage. Coming out of the corner, Allison now under attack from Mark McFadden, who has the 3rd place under the green flag. Simon Thorne's Jeff Dotson back up in the mix after going a couple laps down with his wreck. He's up to 5th place ahead of Charles Smith, championship contender, who is falling back again to the 7th position as we have a battle for the lead.
Yeah, I was going to bring up Charles Smith after getting into that accident and starting 8th. He was up to 6th. Now he's back at 7th, but he should start making his way through the group here pretty quick here, and I think he might have a chance. Oh, he's going to come down pit road, so I don't think he's going to have too good of a chance now. But like Jeremy Horn's got a pretty good commanding lead so far. Oh, never mind. Jason Allison's coming onto the inside of him.
Yeah, Allison's going to try to take that lead here with 19 to go. He's been saving, I think, for this run. If we can go green, we will make it on fuel. It's just going to be a matter of tires. These guys have 14 laps on their tires for those front 2. 9 for McFadden in the 48, who's right behind him. And I really think McFadden may give him a run for their money if he can get up there and try to make that battle for the lead. He's there. He's just not quite there. He is very close, though, and here goes a pass for 2nd position if he can make a stick, but he can't do it.
Jason Allison with the position defense, and they're all single file again. Looking at the 12 of Charles Smith, he's back out on the racetrack on the back straightaway, so he did not lose a lap. He just lost time, and we'll see how that plays into it. He's hoping for another caution in order to get back up there with the field. Going into turn 1 right now, Mark McFadden nailed to the inside line, but the 57 of Simon Thorne's giving him some trouble.
I was looking right now, everybody in that lead group, they're kind of spread out, but they're still within attack range of any position that they want to be in. They're a little spread out, but these long straightaways, if you get behind someone and catch some air, you can definitely get a move on somebody really quick. As you see a battle for third there, it's so easy to get a run on everybody here, these long straights.
Yeah, and I'm kind of curious what happened to the 12 of Charles Smith. He was only on pit road 5 seconds. I'm not sure if maybe that was a fuel and tire strategy. He obviously didn't take tires. It could have been a fuel strategy. Or did he have a speeding penalty that he had to do a stop and go? He came off abruptly on the start, which leads me to believe that maybe he had a stop and go penalty as he was only there 5 seconds. If that was the case, that would be detrimental to his chances here at the championship. But he did stay on the lead lap, and right now Jeremy Horn, your other championship contender, is fending off this field of Jason Allison, Mark McFadden, Stephen Leffler, as they are right there trying to get the lead.
It's been nobody in front of Horn for basically the entire race, except for a couple of periods under yellow flag. Right behind him, though, in his rearview mirror, it's been a traffic jam. Jason Allison's been there. Mark McFadden's been there. Leffler, Thorns, Smith's been there. Dotson's been there. And they've all been trying to make moves with the lead, but Jeremy Horn has been able to hold almost every single one of them off, as another one is being mounted right now. Allison and McFadden side by side into one.
Yeah, and you got Stephen Leffler back there after that wreck. I'm not sure if he's a lap down or not, which he's not. So he's running up there with everybody else. And you got Simon Thorns behind him, Jib Whaley behind him. All lead lap cars in position to possibly win this race with 15 to go.
Yeah, 15 to go at the line, and Jason Allison is right there battling for the lead. We got a battle for second. Mark McFadden, Stephen Leffler. These guys are getting side by side right now, the 72 and the 48. Will they be able to get up there and get with the leaders? And also, will Jason Allison be able to pull off the win here? I think if he can get close enough to the 14 of Jeremy Horn and press the issue, Jeremy Horn may give him the lead as he bumps him there going into turn 1. Obviously, Jeremy Horn doesn't have much of a threat from Charles Smith right now, so 1 or 2 spots is definitely worth the championship.
Yeah, he has to be thinking about that right now. Jason Allison on the attack.
Ooh, we do have a caution.
All right, Simon Thorns going around, and he is upside down on top of that. Let's go back and take a look.
Second car we've had upside down today. The other one was Ronald Vincent in the big 6-car pileup we had in turn 2.
And we'll see here what happened. Ooh.
It looks like a combination of hitting the apron and getting a little loose, and he just shot up the track. Nobody else got collected. Nobody around him to hit him. I mean, there were a couple cars around him, but nobody close enough to hit him. So that's definitely a shame for Simon Thorns to be taken out this early on yet.
Caution out once again here. That is our 8th caution for 23 laps, 14 laps to go. The only question that comes to mind right now is, will these guys pit? I have a feeling I think we're going to see them come down pit road. At least some of them may come down. We may see some trickery going on here to see if they all come down. But I think at least somebody is going to come down pit road and get some tires and fuel.
I can't help but wonder if we've already seen a little bit of trickery with the 12 of Charles Smith coming down early. It may have been a penalty problem, but if he was coming in for fuel, maybe he was worried about his fuel mileage going all the way to the end. I guess we will see whether or not he stays out, because he does have the good fortune of a caution coming out and bringing him right back up into contention with the field. He will have about 10 to 11 laps to make his mark on churning up through the field and getting by Jeremy Horn for the championship. It's all going to come down to this pit stop.
And he has 14 fresher tires, as we'll hand it over to Randy.
Yeah, if I'm Charles Smith, I'm pitting this time. It's going to give me, I'm going to be back up with the pack for sure. If I have fresher tires, I'm going to be able to battle with guys like Jeremy Horn, Jason Allison, because those guys are probably not going to pit due to, oh, no, they are coming down. Jeremy Horn fakes him out. He's going to stay out. So, yeah, if I'm Charles Smith, I'm going to pit and try to get better tires than him so I can pass him easily when it comes time.
And we were watching Charles Smith there in the 12, and I'm not sure he was 100% sure about his call to come down pit road. As you see him very indecisive at the very last minute, he actually cuts over on the pit road. So I think he was really hesitant, probably deciding which he wanted to do there. And we'll wait for him to get off pit road here, and then we'll see if we can't get a quick word in with him after that. But I think he may have really wanted to stay out, but he knew he probably needed those tires as well, as he is on pit road leaving. So if you want to pull him down here, Randy, we'll get a quick word in with the 12 of Charles Smith. Charles Smith, you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, just wanted to talk to you real fast. We saw you go into pit road. It looked like there a little bit you might have hesitated, didn't know if you wanted to stay out on those tires or go in. Was that the case? Were you watching there to see if everybody else went down?
Yeah, I was looking to see what Jeremy was doing. I was just going to do the opposite.
Well, it looked like from our view that's what it was. You were right there in the middle. Obviously, we knew you weren't just going to drive into the barrels there, so we knew you were deciding whether you wanted to come in or not. Opted to go in, as Jeremy Horn did stay out. You're going to come out 5th. We have seen you up front. Do you think you have enough to get by Jeremy Horn here with those fresher tires?
I sure hope so, but I've been having a real tough time getting up to him. I can get up to just about anybody else but him. It just seems like I can't get up. I can't, draft up to him.
Well, good news for you here was we've been watching it here from up in the booth. We have seen people come in or not come in with about 10 to 12 laps on their tires and get eaten alive by this field pretty quickly here. He has 21 on his laps on his tires versus your 1 fixing to be 2, and those are all under caution. And we just did hear that once they get a heat cycle in them, they are pretty much junk after that. So you have the upper hand here. It's just a matter if you can get up there and take that. And really, all you got to do is get by him. You don't even have to get to the lead. So does that take a little bit of pressure knowing off? All you have to do is pass him, not necessarily win the race.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, but he's been pretty strong. I gotta hope that one of these guys in front of me that also pitted can get around him possibly.
Well, we'll be looking to see who and if you can, if anybody else and yourself can get by him. But any shout-outs or sponsors you want to thank real fast for this season finale before we get you ready to go racing again?
No, just everybody that comes out to these races, and Jeremy, me and him, we're good friends. We're both from Indiana, and we're both in the chase. So it's kind of cool to getting to run against somebody like him. And obviously, I want to thank you guys for broadcasting.
All right. Well, you might want to pull down pit road, too, by the way. We're on board with you here, and you got a little mud on your helmet. I'm not sure where that came from, but we're on an asphalt track.
I went to Williams Grove before this race. So.
Well, that would explain it here, although that visor looks nice and clean, so I think you should have no vision problems out there. But we'll let you get back up there, and with any luck, we'll see you in the podium finish, maybe the champion at the end of this night.
All right. Thank you.
Calm as a cucumber. That's the only way I can describe Charles Smith there. He's under pressure. He's behind, but 10 laps to go. It's crunch time.
It is indeed, and it's going to be a good race. We didn't get to pick our normals that we usually do. We picked the winner here. We'll just kind of chalk that up to not doing it here tonight. We didn't want to jinx anyone. It's Randy coming in a little bit late here. Obviously had some stuff he had to take care of beforehand. It's been an exciting race. Quite a few cautions, but still some good racing when it was. We've seen some pretty good wrecks as well. But overall, we're glad to have both of you here in the booth, David and Randy, for the season finale here for the RTRL.
Yeah, and Randy, I'd like to say, he used to live up in Alaska and was part of the Northwest racing crew with the rest of us. So him and his number 54 car were around the Northwest Racing Series. I've raced with him before, and I'm glad to see him around again.
Yeah, most definitely. Thanks, David. I just want to bring up that the past couple of weeks we have seen Jeremy Horn just dominating with just about any car condition, anything like that. So I'd expect to see Charles to give him a pretty good run if he can get up there.
Yeah, I expect to see a good run here. Again, we're on lap 60 of 70 as we'll pull it up one last time here, hopefully. 8 cautions, 26 laps under caution, 11 laps to go, going to be 10 at the line. And, of course, 9 different lead changes. As we all know, if we can make it to the 5 lap mark, and it says 5 to go, we will not go racing again. So if we get a caution after or at the 5 mark or after, we will not go racing again. And Randy, they're getting ready to take this one to the green flag one more time. You want to get them started this time for us?
All right, let's get them warmed up, boys. Let's get ready for some green flag racing here. Coming out of turn 3, the pace car should be diving off pretty quick here. And it is, so they're going to get going here. Oh, we got a car coming into the pits already. But green flag is out. Jeremy Horn gets a good jump. It looks like Mark McFadden is going to push him to the lead a little bit more. He's going to go to the outside. I think that's who's on the outside there, down in 3rd. Charles Smith up to 3rd already. So you can definitely see with Jason Allison on his inside, this could be a great finish for the championship, as he's got a really good run on Jeremy here.
He does indeed, and they're going to almost make it 3 wide. Here comes Allison. He will make it 3 wide for 2nd place, and Allison's going to get by Charles Smith to take 3rd place. Again, he doesn't need to win. Charles Smith only needs to get up there and get to Jeremy Horn, as he's going to fall to 5th place now. But that being said, he's still not out of this thing by much. He is right there, and coming across the line, he's going to be battling for 4th.
Mark McFadden almost was clear for the lead coming through turn 2. Got a great run on Jeremy Horn coming down Long Pond straightaway, but now that's Horn back out front. Allison pushing him. That's a very familiar sight we've seen all day. Allison on the attack, Horn in the lead, and the battle for 3rd between Stephen Leffler and Mark McFadden, as Leffler will have it coming out of turn 1.
Yeah, and watching Charles Smith a little bit more here, he's got a good run on Stephen Leffler. I would say, he goes to the inside. He's going to tuck in down behind Jason there with a little bit of room. So he's fallen back a little bit. It looked like he lost a little bit of draft speed, so definitely hope to see Charles get up there. I hope he didn't wear out the equipment trying to get up near everybody right away.
And that will be 1 spot there with 9 to go. Going to be 8 to go at the line. Allison out front here for only the 2nd lap. And I think he's been holding back just a little bit. Or either that or Jeremy Horn may have let him by. Not going to battle him again, but that is 1 spot that he lost there for padding between him and Charles Smith. And we'll see Leffler going to try to get by. But meanwhile, Mark McFadden is going to get by Charles Smith as well to put that padding back. So now they're right back to where they were when this race started here for the restart. But Allison and Leffler are going to get by Jeremy Horn. And, well, not for long.
Or will they? There goes Horn around the outside of turn 2 for the lead. I don't think I've seen a pass on the outside of turn 2 from behind work like that. But Horn leads the field back down to turn 3. Allison, Leffler, Smith, who was able to hold off McFadden. Jim Whaley Jr., how about him? The 46 car. Haven't talked a whole lot about him. I read him in the 8th position, battling hard versus Dotson and McFadden. And there's 4 cars under a blanket for about the 5th position back there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Charles got into the wall or nothing, but he dropped a couple spots there on the straightaway. So I'm not sure exactly what happened there. He did have a good run back up to the lead pack a little bit ago. We'll see if he can keep up with them here with about 6 to go here.
Falling back now is a dangerous spot, but it's possible he can get back up there. As we'll go back to the front as Stephen Leffler is back out front. And this will be his first lap led, if he can hang on to it here with 7 laps to go. Going to be 6 at the line. Again, Stephen Leffler is your new race leader at the moment, followed by Jason Horn and Jeremy Horn and Jason Allison. And that will do it right there. He will officially lead his first lap here. Again, that is the 14 of Jeremy Horn.
3 wide, 4 cars involved going into turn 1, and Jim Whaley Jr. is right behind him in the 5th position all of a sudden. Jeremy Horn out front. Again, Jason Allison, Mark McFadden. Leffler had the lead at the line. he's in 4th position now, trying to go back onto the attack. So this is becoming not a battle of straight line speed, but this is a battle of leapfrog. Every corner, somebody's going by somebody else.
Yeah, and I faintly remember last week we had asked some of the drivers about the draft in these cars, and they said it wasn't too big of a factor with these cars. And I'm starting to see that the draft is pretty big with these things, because if you're not behind somebody, you're dropping off pretty quick here.
That you are indeed. We'll see. It has been a drag races. Oh, another shot to the back bumper for Jeremy Horn from Jason Allison. That's the second time he's gave him a shot to the back bumper. Earlier he did it as well. Wasn't on this run, but Jason Allison right there trying to get to the lead as they're coming out of the corner down this long, what is considered, I guess, the back stretch here for all intents and purposes. But Jeremy Horn out front. Allison's going to fall to 3rd. Stephen Leffler in 2nd. It's going to be 4 to go at the line. This is no man's zone. Once the caution, if a caution comes out at this point, the race will be over.
And this is crunch time for Charles Smith, who is all on his own in the 7th position. Jeff Dotson's ahead. Simon Thorns is behind. Charles Smith has to be hoping that...
Oh, sorry, Jason Allison. Caution is out, and that is going to end the race.
Jason Allison, Jim Whaley Jr. having such a great run. He was up there in the 3rd position for a moment there. And he's on the pit road now, part of that wreck.
Let's go back and take a look here and see what happened to Jason Allison. Looked like he just broke loose.
Wouldn't have been the first time this race.
It would not. It's been happening to multiple people as he knocks Jim Whaley Jr. onto pit road.
Yeah, it looked like someone, I can't see who it is, but someone got into him coming out of the corner and kind of knocked him sideways a little bit, which caused him to get loose. And then Jim Whaley Jr. was just a collector of the accident there.
Yeah, Mark McFadden to Allison's outside. Actually, it looks like McFadden might have been slightly sideways. Allison was okay, from what I can see. But Allison starts coming up to exit the race, exit the corner, and McFadden isn't coming up yet. So the two of them make side-side contact. McFadden at least continues on, but Allison and the 46 of Whaley Jr. are the unfortunate victims of that one.
They are indeed, and that is going to end the race here as we are under caution. 4 laps to go. We're not going to go racing again here. So Jeremy Horn will be your race winner unless he's trying to play some trickery on these people again.
Wouldn't that be perfect?
Yeah, and we do have Charles Smith coming down pit road.
Well, 4th position. He's not really worried about a podium right now. He's worried about a championship. So, honestly, unless we were to go green for 1 lap, what does he have to lose? I mean, Horn has the lead.
I don't think we're going to go green.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how this thing is set up, but 7.5 miles will tell us.
Typically, if you have less than 5 laps left, you're not going green. As we'll take a look here. We have 3 to go. The lights would have to go out this next time by, and I don't believe they're going to. So this race is over. So I guess Charles Smith just going in there to get a clean car, unless by some freak chance it does make us let us go racing again. But again, I don't think it's going to.
Yeah, and without Charles Smith being up there in line with everybody, I don't think it's a possibility, because you need everybody in line to shut the lights off on the pace car. So I'm going to gear towards the race is over.
That is definitely unfortunate for Charles Smith, as that will seal his fate. Excuse me, again, assuming we're certain on this, the lights, if they do not go out this time by, we will not go racing. And again, I just don't think they're going to. As we'll see here, we'll focus on the pace car here, as he is the one leading this race.
Oh, do mention Jeff Dotson, after going a couple laps down under his accident, he's all the way back up into 3rd place. So if this ends where it is, he's going to have a podium finish. Also, Michael Palmer, the 31, and Mark Koshik, the 33, 5th and 6th. I think that might be the highest they've run all race. And you know that if you're going to have your highest position in the race be right there, you're going to want to have that coming right at the end when it counts.
That is very true. And there is the start-finish line. Lights are still on. This race is officially over here with 2 laps to go. Obviously, we are not going racing again. Next time by, the lights would go out, and the next time would end the race. So this race is officially over. Jeremy Horn going to be coming home as your race winner and your champion. So now it's just a formality here to finish this race out.
It is a 175-mile race, and you got to go the 175 miles. Got to go the 70 laps. No cheating. So we're gonna spin around the last 2 laps here. Leffler will be your second place finisher, rounding out the podium after a great comeback. Jeff Dotson.
Yeah, back in 4th place, we've got Mark McFadden. 5th would go home to Michael Palmer. 6th for Mark Koshik. 7th for Jason Allison. 8th for Charles Smith. 9th for Simon Thorns. 10th for Jim Whaley Jr. 11th is going to be James Capehart. 12th goes home to Paul Cohen. 13th, Ronald Vincent. And 14th, John Estes.
And 9 cars finishing on the lead lap, ending with Charles Smith in the 9th position. Only 2 drivers I'm aware of actually retired from the race. Ronald Vincent and John Estes finishing 13th and 14th. But man, that was a battle. The green flag battles were amazing up there at the front.
They were indeed. And again, we're just waiting here for the formality of them to go around this track. As we'll take a look, we're on lap 69 here. As there it is, 2 laps to go, so still 1 to go when they cross the line. So we are going to step away here for one last commercial break, and we will be coming back here in just a few moments with your official post-race show to end the season here for the championship. We'll talk to the champion in this, of course, the top 3. He's one of them. So we'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
Looking for new
All right, we are back here, ladies and gentlemen, and we have caught up with our third place driver here. Again, the number 3, Jeff. I don't win races, Dotson, finishing in third place here tonight, and we'll hand it over to David, who has caught up with him.
Congratulations on a podium finish, Jeff. You had a great, strong run at the beginning of the race and a heck of a comeback through the middle. So, congratulations on the podium. Could you please just walk us through what happened since we interviewed you the last time and your comeback?
Yeah, before I start, I want to say one thing. Charles, I won a road course race, so yes, I do win, but no.
Hey, everyone gets lucky once in a while.
Set the record straight. Set the record straight, Jeff. Tell him.
And I have won an oval race over here, too, so I've got 2 wins in this league, but yeah. But anywho, yeah, I was just... it was a great race tonight, great championship race. But as I said, it's one of the more setups that I did have difficulty learning. But our setup guy, Charles Smith, he does a great job week in, week out making these cars, work. And because, these are road course cars. And we only ran them on 2 road courses this season throughout the whole season. The rest of the races were ovals. So, he did a phenomenal job at setting these cars up, with the limited amount of setups they do have, because I believe the iRacing default setups are just, high, low, medium, downforce, and a baseline setup, and they're all set up for mainly road course racing. So, he does a, spectacular job at getting those cars set up. So I just want to thank him for that. But yeah, just to come back, that was something that I didn't see coming. I could tell there at the end, though, when we had the last 10 laps after that second to last caution there, when we got the restart there, about 10 to go, I could see that I was reeling in some of the guys there behind the top 3, and I was able to pass them. And I got about, I think, 5th it was. And I'm pretty sure if the race would have stayed green, I could have, picked off maybe 1 or 2 more cars, but I wouldn't have got up to 3rd where I was. But missing that last crash there, I didn't see that coming either. It was just, I guess, luck of the draw there for that one.
You got to have as much luck as you have talent for these things. And so this is the final race of this championship, and we would like to know what you are looking forward to going into the next championship season.
Well, for starters, this season actually was a kind of an experiment season, as you could call it, since it was our very first season to implement a chase format. And wanting a weirder way to implement a chase format with cars that aren't stock cars. So, but I made it into the chase. I made it into the second round, but I just didn't have enough to make it into that final round tonight to battle with either Charles Smith or Jeremy there. But those guys had a fun race. Well, and had a hard fought battle there, and too bad I couldn't be a part of it, but yeah, I think next season we won't have a chase format though. We're just going back to Winston Cup style points for those Lotus cars, and so with that, it's just going to be a lot of try to get some top 5 finishes in there and see if we can be in the top 3 for the finish there.
All right, that sounds great, Jeff. And I know we've already pulled you into the booth before, but we'd just like to know if there's anything else you'd like to say in parting for our viewers or for our broadcasters or all your fellow competitors as we wrap up this season.
Yeah, sure thing. Just I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight and racing and coming out all season and racing with us. It's been a blast. I've had some fun in these cars. Probably, as I said, it's my best season out here in this car, best finish-wise and stuff like that. I had a blast in this car. It's a fun car to drive. We'll have to come back to it sometime soon. And thank everybody for coming out. Thank you guys for broadcasting, and thank the people who back us and support us. It's in the league, and you guys for broadcasting. And just congratulations to Mr. Horn there for winning the championship.
Absolutely, and we are blessed with the presence of Mr. Jeff Dotson, who comes home 3rd in the season finale at Pocono after going up to the front, leading some laps, falling to the back, and making an amazing comeback to finish 3rd. Thank you very much for your time, Jeff.
Yeah, thank you very much, and I hope you guys had a great broadcast tonight, and it was fun.
All right, thank you very much, Jeff. Randy, we pass on to you.
All right, so I've gotten caught up with Stephen Leffler here, who finished 2nd tonight. So congrats on 2nd place tonight, Stephen. Got anything this year? How was the race after the caution? that we'd brought you up and talked about.
Yeah, the car came back alive. Unfortunately, when I hit the wall earlier in the race, I was fighting a frame rate drop coming out of turn 3, and it just kept nagging me, and I finally got in the wall after probably about 30 or 40 laps of the race, and that kind of started my downhill roll. But I was able to bounce back from that after using my quick fix and got back in it. And I'll take second place any day after the last 5 or 6 weeks have gone for me. I've just had the worst luck possible. I mean, probably second to Jim Whaley, but I'll take second any day, man. After the last couple weeks.
Sure, and after hitting the wall, you can definitely wake a car up if you hit it hard enough. So what are you looking forward to for season 2? Are you going to come back, or are you going to be able to run with everybody next season?
Yep, I'll be back. I'm just hoping I can stay as consistent as I was the first half of this season. I was probably the most consistent driver in points-wise the first 6 or 7 races, besides Jeremy winning all the time. But, I mean, consistency-wise, I was top 2, top 3 pretty much week in and out first couple of weeks. Hit a wall, just fell off the face of the earth.
Sure. Well, congrats on the second place finish tonight. You got any sponsors, shout-outs you'd like to make before we move on?
I just want to thank everyone at the league for putting this together, you guys for broadcasting it, and all the spectators out there for showing up and watching the race.
All right. Well, again, congrats on second place. I'm not sure where you finished exactly in the points, but look forward to having you next season, and we're going to hand it off to Charles, who's caught off with the winner and season championship tonight.
Thank you, guys.
I have caught up with the 14 of Jeremy Horn. Before we get to him, I do want to clarify on those wins that Jeff is referring to. We are still not done with checking the tires. We're sure something was wrong, or possibly he had a replacement driver. So he has the wins for now, but he has not passed the testing there, as they did find some unusual liquids in his cup. I think he filled it with Kool-Aid or something, but something we'll get to that shortly. But overall, a great race here for Jeremy Horn. Comes away with the win and the championship, all wrapped up in a nice little bow tie. First off, how was it out there racing, and what are you going to be doing to celebrate this championship?
Well, it was man, those last 32, 33 laps were insane. I last pitted for tires on 38, and I knew clean air was going to be king. And I really have to give a big shout out to Steven and to Jason and McFadden. We all run so hard that last run, but so clean. With me running for a championship and ZB right behind me, I was a little bit scared running that hard, but I was like, man, if I fall back and I get in turbulent air, I'm done. So it was a blast. Honestly, probably one of the better races that we have had all season long in this Corvette. It shined tonight at Pocono.
Well, definitely a great time to shine when everything on the line. You come out here, you put on your best show here, your best foot forward, and not only do you get the win, you get the championship. And a dominating style here. You led 58 laps here tonight as well, out of the 70. So just a fantastic night. Again, we don't want to keep you here too long. We want you to get off there and be celebrating. So any sponsors on that car you want to thank, or just anyone you want to give a shout out to for this championship and win?
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody at the league running this chase for the first time. I know it was tough on Jeff and CB with the keeping track of the points and all that and all the changing. So just thank everybody over at RTRL. I mean, these are a great bunch of guys to run with. Thank you and for broadcasting, everybody out there who watched this. Hopefully they enjoyed it, especially if they stuck around for tonight. And just my wife and my son for giving me time on Saturday nights to go out here and have fun with all these guys.
All right. Well, again, congrats on the win, Jeff. We like to give him a hard time, but Jeff Dotson, do you have any final thoughts here? Shout out to anyone who wants to get into this. I know you have your next season coming up here in about 2 weeks or so. If anybody's out there watching that definitely wants to get into this.
Yeah, just go if you're a member of iRacing and you've seen the race tonight or any of the races that been broadcasted this season. Just check out Roaring Thunder Racing. Like there's no G on the end of it. Just Roaring and an apostrophe. I don't know if the apostrophe's on iRacing or not. I don't think it is. But just check out Roaring Thunder Racing League and send us an application and we'll get you set up. And in 2 weeks we got a 2-week break because we take off on Saturday nights. We do take off for real life racing on TV. If it's an IndyCar night race or a NASCAR night race for the Cup Series, we'll take those nights off and let you guys watch the races. But if it's an Xfinity race or a truck race or something smaller than that, then we usually won't take the night off. It's only for Indy cars and NASCAR Cup cars. So NASCAR is going to be at Daytona next weekend, and after that they're going to be at Kentucky. Both those are night races, so we won't have any racing there. And we'll start the season after all that's cleared up. So about, probably 3 weeks, so 2 or 3 weeks away, we'll have the new season started. It'll be Lotus 49s, and the first race will be at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And just want to say congratulations again to Mr. Horn on winning the championship tonight.
All right, well, there you have it, folks. If you're going to get into this league, that's how you do it. That is when they're going to be starting. So that is coming up. That is going to just about do it here for the broadcast. Of course, we want to let everyone know that this broadcast was brought to you by the following partners: Walls Beard Co., Sim Speed Shop, Northwest Racing Series, Ohio IndyCar League, and, of course, iBog. If you have need of any of their services, make sure you check them out all on their Facebook pages, websites. Give them a big shout-out. Let them know you heard about it here on Virtual Racing Network. That being said, we are going to sign off for the night. We'll see you at the next race, which will be tomorrow for the No Excuses Sim Series Short Track Series at 1 p.m. Central. And then, of course, Race Core Xfinity as we continue following that series at 7:10 Central Time. Till then, have a great night, and we'll see you then.
This copyrighted broadcast may not be used in any form without the authorized written consent of Virtual Racing Network. VRN would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.